Hello, my students. How are you all? I hope you all are fine, safe, and healthy. Welcome to Zoom Knowledge with a new content. And today we discuss about the topics, the kingdoms, where the rest of the kingdoms that we didn't discuss in the last video. So let's start the video. So here are the topics, the kingdoms we gonna discuss or talk about. The first kingdom we have to talk about is the fungi kingdom. It is all about the fungi. Basically, fungi are made up of the thread-like hyphas, alright, rather than cells. They are not made up of the cells, they are made up of the thread-like hyphas. Here it is written. And there are many nuclei scattered in the cytoplasm in the hyphae. Alright, so let me show you the structure of the hypha. Here it is. This is the structure of the hypha. Fine. The structure of the hypha, like the fungal hypha, here is the nucleus. The nucleus is scattered all over the hypha and the scattered form in the cytoplasm. Okay, vacuole is present in the center. Glycogen granules are present also in the cytoplasm in small amount. Cytoplasm is here. This is the hyphal wall, the double membrane hyphal wall. Digested food is here, which has to be excreted out from the hypha, and the enzymes are excreting out. All right, so if we talk about the fungi further, is this that fungi organisms includes the mushrooms, toadstools, puffballs, and the bracket fungi, which is grow on the tree trunks. Here it is. You can see, people can see that this is the bracket fungi that grow on the tree trunks. All right, so if we have seen in our kitchens, there are some kind of foodstuffs on which the fungi has to be grown, like that fungi is known as the mold fungi. All right, but very important, the mold fungi which grow on the stale bread, cheese, fruits, and on many other fruits like potatoes also. Okay, so mold fungi is the fungi that grows on the many kinds of foodstuffs. Similar to mold fungi, there is the single celled fungi, which is also we have known very well, that is the yeast. We have used yeast in many kind of foodstuff, on the buns, cakes, in the bakery items. All right, so yeast is also the single celled fungi which is close to the mold and just function like the molds. Some fungi. Now we have to talk about the parasitic fungi. But parasitic fungi are those fungi that totally rely or depend on the other organism, or stay on the other organism, take nutrient and food from the other organism. Totally that fungi depend on the other organism, on the host cell, so that also cause diseases on that organism or the crop where they have to be stay. So particularly plants, the parasitic fungi particularly stays on the plants where they cause the diseases that can affect the plants, such as the mildew. Here you can see the mildew. Here it is. This is the mildew. Okay, so the next kingdom, prokaryotic kingdom and the protoctist kingdom. The main difference between these two kingdoms is this, that the distinct nucleus. Prokaryotic organisms, as we have know, that prokaryotes does not have a distinct nucleus, so that's why the chromosomes are not arranged in that kingdom or in that organisms, including in the prokaryotes. But in case of protists or protoctists, distinct nucleus has in these organisms, where the chromosomes are arranged in the proper manner. Okay, so these are the bacteria or green algae. Blue-green algae consist of single-celled, but different from the single-celled organisms because their chromosomes are not arranged into the nucleus. Moving to the protoctist kingdom or protists kingdom, they are also single-celled and the unicellular organisms, we can say that, which have their chromosomes enclosed in the nuclear membrane. Okay, to form the nucleus. Some examples are shown here. The amoeba, euglena, paramecium, verticella. These are some kind of the examples of these unicellular organisms. All right, so if I gonna show you these, look, these all are the unicellular organisms. Okay, but the unicellular organisms, these two unicellular organisms consist of the chloroplast, that so that they can make their by photosynthesis on their own. Verticella's food should be carried by its own, but there is a suction tube here, or through which in water currents it sucks up, and the food will come towards its suction tube, and through this method they gain their food. Amoeba has the cytoplasmic rhythmic movements through which where the cytoplasm moves, the amoeba moves over there, and on that way, if it comes in contact with the microscopic organisms or some kind of bacteria, so it can be taken those organisms as their food. Okay, paramecium is also just like the amoeba and take their foods through their cilias. They move through their cilias. The cilias are present outside their body through which they move and take their food. All right, so here the viruses, we have to talk about now the viruses. Basically we studied that they are living or non-living organisms. Somehow they act as living, and somehow in some forms they do not act as the living organisms. All right, so viruses are of different types, but they are vary in their shape and structure. The main point is this, that there are many kind of viruses, but they vary in their shape and structure. You can see here, these are the two diagrams of the viruses, but they both have difference. This is the structure of the virus, and this is the structure of the influenza virus. Okay, so both have the DNA core, both have the single-stranded DNA core. This is the RNA core. Okay, the capsomeres here, and the protein coat in which the RNA is enclosed. Here the RNA is enclosed in this diagram also, but the structure and size of both viruses are different. Okay, protein coat, the RNA stranded is surrounded by the protein coat. Viruses particles are not cells. They do not feed. This is the we can say that the important paragraph, that virus particles are not cells. They are not cells. Okay, they do not feed, respire, excrete, and grow. This is the arguable statement, that why they don't feed, respire, or excrete, or grow, if we can say that they are living organisms. They do not grow, they do not respire, they do not feed. They feed on that, in that sense we can say that on which organism or host they are staying in, that they are going their feed from that host or that organism, we can say that. Okay, so they live in the host, so that's why they take and do reproduce, they do their reproduction over there, taking the nutrients, taking the feeding from that organism. Here it is written, viruses do reproduce, but only inside the cells of the living organisms, usually using the materials provided by the host cell. Only they used the material, nutrient, or feeding of the host cell, so they can reproduce. Okay, now these two structures we have discussed, that generalized structure and the particles they have shown here. The generalized structure of viruses, this is the generalized structure of viruses. The journal we discussed the virus, here it is. Okay, but when we talk about the influenza virus, so here it is the influenza virus. This is the structure of the influenza virus, which is quite different from the generalized structure of the virus. Okay, so here the topic we discussed today, the prokaryotes, the kingdoms, the rest of the kingdoms, and the viruses, the topic of virus. So if you like the video, do share and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you will get the videos first. Thank you. Bye bye.